Good morning, and thank you for joining us for SBB Live. I am your host and the publisher of Seniors Blue Book, Amanda Barton, and I am excited today to bring on the team from Maxwell Mortgage. We're going to start with Lauren Maxwell herself. Lauren, tell me a little bit about what you do there and what your role is and how long you've been doing it.
Sure. Hi, everybody. So I'm Lauren Maxwell, and yes, I am the Maxwell Mortgage team, and we are part of our corporate office, which is called Cross Country Mortgage. I have been in the business for 33 years, and I have been doing this in Naples, Collier, Lee County, and Florida for 31 years, even though I am a national lender and I can lend anywhere in the country.
That's fantastic. What types of mortgages do you guys write there at Maxwell?
Well, we write everything. However, we do specialize with people with credit issues, first-time home buyers, and then also people at the end of buying their last home. Normally there's children involved. Grandkids come back and live at the house. Parents are getting older. Kids come and live there and help take care of everybody. So I do a lot of things with multifamily homes as where guest homes are on the property, or a home large enough where there's an ensuite where either the parents can be there or the children taking care. So it's amazing how many people all live together as families as people get older.
Yeah, and here in Collier County and Lee County especially, we have a lot of people coming in and retiring. So talk to us about if somebody's looking to retire, what refinancing options they may have.
Sure. Well, of course, right now the rates are amazing, right? You wouldn't believe how many calls I get from clients who are over 70 who call me and say, Lauren, I'm now on a fixed income and I'm scared. I really want a 30-year fix, but are you going to let me a loan for 30 years because I'm going to be 100 or 110? And I said, we have no discrimination. You could come to me at 98 years old and I'm going to give you a 30-year mortgage. Amanda, the other thing that happens here is that sometimes people don't qualify just on their Social Security or on their pension. And that's why the families all live together. And then sometimes we have 5 people on a mortgage. We'll have a daughter and her husband, the parents, and then they'll still need another cosigner, another family member. So the sky's the limit, bring it on. We want everybody to be able to be comfortable in their home and afford the payment.
That's awesome. And thank you for elaborating on that. Now, I know that Jerry Solomon's with us today as well. Jerry, how are you doing?
Good morning. Yes, I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having us.
And you are the king when it comes to doing reverse mortgages. So,
well, thank you for that compliment. And while Maxwell Mortgage does incredible work, handling all types of mortgages, I specialize in what we call reverse mortgages, which is technically known as home equity conversion mortgages. Okay. I've been working.
That's that great acronym, right, Jerry?
Yeah.
I call it wealth management.
And
I really believe in the program.
Right.
And, it's amazing. And that's why I asked Jerry to come and run that program.
Right.
Fantastic. So talk to us about that.
Okay. Well, regarding home equity conversion mortgages, some people know them as reverse mortgages, or as Lauren likes to talk about them, as wealth management type. Okay, they're special non-recourse loans insured by the Federal Housing Administration. Most people know it as FHA, for people over the age of 62. And now, in our economic challenging times, home equity can promote financial stability that seniors may want and need either before or during retirement. Now, an interesting statistic is that over 80% of Americans have less than $5,000 in the bank, and they live paycheck to paycheck. So with a wealth management, reverse mortgage, however you would like to address it, you have the ability to get cash, okay, and acquire additional money without having to pay a monthly mortgage payments. Okay.
So I just want to say one thing in here as well, which I found when Jerry has done these seminars. Do you know if the market crashed and your house went down by hundreds of thousands or 50,000, whatever it is, that it doesn't matter, everything stays the same. You don't have less equity.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an amazing thing to touch on for sure. So you talked
Yeah,
about some of the advantages of a reverse mortgage, or as Lauren likes to call it, the wealth management plan.
right,
What are some
right.
of the others?
Okay, well, there's quite a few, but three major ones that I'd like to talk about for a moment is number one, it gives you the availability of having extra cash, for the homeowner. And secondly, unlike traditional mortgages, excuse me, there's no monthly mortgage payment. Now, the homeowner still has to pay their property taxes, insurance, and HOA fees if applicable. They still have to pay that, right? Number two, flexibility. They can use the money any way that they want, whether they want to pay bills, living expenses, maybe even take a trip, home renovations. And third, seniors today look at this as wealth management, as a financial solution and a planning tool. So it's very important in today's times.
That's fantastic. I know you can also use that money to buy another home. Isn't that correct, Jerry?
Yes, that is correct. Okay,
But
you can do that. And one of the great advantages to this type of loan is a lot of people feel as well, if I do this kind of loan, do I still own my house? You never lose the ownership of your home. You own it until the day that it is sold. All right. And when you do a home equity conversion type mortgages, when you get the cash, you can take it in three different ways. You can take it in a lump sum if you want. You can take it in monthly installments, or you can actually set up a line of credit, or you can do any combination of the three. But the key here is that you retain ownership of your home.
And can pass it still to your children, and they can decide what to do with it. And
Right.
if there's equity, they still get that equity.
Right. So that's kind of like the third advantage, to talk about, is that you never lose possession of your house, and the house upon your death. Okay, if you are married, your spouse can stay in the house, nothing changes, no mortgage payment, necessary, or she can sell the house if she so chooses. So when the house is sold, okay, and the loan is paid off, okay, if the house sells for a gain, that money goes to the beneficiary or the heirs to which is established for the home. And the great news is, as Lauren touched on before, is that if you sell the house and it sells at a loss, because it's fully insured by the FHA, you are not responsible, or your heirs are not responsible for any losses when the house is sold.
Right there is to me is so amazing, because if you own a house somewhere else and you pass it on to your kids and you have negative equity, guess what? They're stuck with that, or your inheritance taxes, somebody has to pay for that. And with this kind of mortgage, you don't.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I think it's really important to talk about, because it is, we're debunking some of the theories of what gave reverse mortgages a bad name back in the day. So I always like to make sure we emphasize the counseling process that people go through and the pre-qualification process. So tell me a little bit about that pre-qualification process, Jerry.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Once the loan is acquired and you're approved for the loan, any existing mortgages that you have are paid off. And you touched just quickly about counseling. One of the concerns years ago was people didn't quite understand what they were getting into. Okay. And there were some surprises down the road that they weren't really happy about. Well, now, when you decide about going forward with the mortgage, there is independent counseling that a person must go through, so they can talk to that independent counselor about how exactly that reverse mortgage does work, so it jives with what has been told to them through agents, like myself and Lauren. All right. So that's very good. So again, once the loan is taken and it's approved, all right, then the loan is completed. And again, no mortgage payment necessary, as long as one homeowner has to be at least age 62 that lives in the house.
So you could have an 80-year-old man or woman with a 23-year-old spouse, and can you still get this mortgage?
Yep, you can, as long as one
Maple
person.
should like that.
Yeah, 60, as long as one person is 62 years old. And actually, the really interesting part about it is the older you are, the more you qualify for on the loan, as crazy as that may seem, okay, is because the older you are, there's more cash available, to you based on the equity. But people must qualify just like they would do for a traditional mortgage. Everything kind of stays in place, in that regard. But at Maxwell Mortgage, what we do is we thrive on doing mortgages and getting people approved. That's what we do, okay? And we do it through we educate our people to the type of loan, regardless of what kind it is, so they can make an informed decision. And we offer outstanding service and transparency throughout the course of the loan.
Can do, will do. That's our logo, our motto.
Yes. Jerry always told me if anybody can get someone approved for a loan, it's Lauren. So I've heard that before.
There's no question about that. She's the queen, and you can ask 90% of the people in Collier and Lee County, and they'll attest to it. Okay, Lauren is the queen. There's no question about it.
So, Jerry, what advice would you give someone that's over the age of 62 that would like to move forward with this program that you're talking to us about today?
Well, it's a good question. And I think my advice would be to be educated, okay? Get in touch with me. Let's sit down virtually and talk and have an understanding and education, because that's my responsibility to educate you. And because we offer at Maxwell Mortgage all types of loans, a reverse or HECM loan may not necessarily be the right loan for that person. And if not, we certainly have the resources to do whatever type of loan they're needed. But to answer your question directly, first course of action is let's talk about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. But that's the first step you do.
Yeah, that's the first step.
Any closing remarks that you might have for our viewers today?
Okay. Lauren?
Well, if you're interested in anything, whether it's wealth management, whether it's buying a primary home, whether it's talking about a second home, whether it's an investment home, whether you just need counseling, guidance, just asking questions. We're a one-stop shop. Call me. At least we'll give you advice, because the last thing I want to do is put you in a home you can't afford or refinance you when you don't need it. I have people who ask me every day, hey, can I refinance? Can I refinance? Because they see these ads. I say, send me your mortgage statement. Send me a copy of your insurance. Let's make sure it makes sense. I sit with them. I screenshot them. This is your current payment. This is what it would go to. This is how much it will cost. Does this make sense for you? Because what might make sense for one person might not make sense for another. Somebody to save $100 a month could mean the world of difference of them buying groceries. And we're another person, $100 a month, you know what? It's really not that big of a deal. So let's talk about it. You definitely won't hurt my feelings if you don't want to do it, but normally people are calling me because they just want to be educated. So again, Jerry said, educate yourself, whether it's with a reverse mortgage, a purchase, a refinance, and that's what we're here for, because we want a client for life. We're not just in the game for your one deal. Okay.
Right. And Amanda, my closing remark would be for people out there now that are thinking about it, maybe on the fence, okay, they should get off the fence, because with interest rates now at an all-time low, now is the time to act, or at least find out about it. So you'll know. You don't want to say, well, I'm going to think about it, and then 8 months from now, everything could change. So again, with mortgages now being very hot, people knowing the rates are very low, now is the time to act, or at least to educate yourself so you know.
Amanda, I just want to share one thing with people, because I know people think if they have bad credit, then they can't do this. I just refinanced somebody who had a 517 credit score. And I did an 80% loan to value at a 3.625 rate, and it's saving them $400 a month. That's a 517 credit score. So don't just listen to people out there. Your friends will tell you, your coworkers. Call a professional, just like in anything. Because if we can't do it, at least we'll tell you, but there's times that you'd be shocked we can.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that story. I really appreciate it. I think a lot of people will gain a lot of value in knowing that, because you're right. If they have a bad credit score, they think, what can I do?
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for sharing.
A lot.
Right, right. Call Maxwell Mortgage.
Yes. Well, I just want to thank each and every one of you for coming on the show today. I know how valuable your time is and how busy you are. So thank you for your support of Seniors Blue Book, and thank you for coming on the show today and educating our viewers about mortgages, reverse mortgages, wealth management plans, etc.
Right.
Thanks for having us, Amanda.
Right. Thanks for it. Was a pleasure, and good to see you again, Amanda.
Good to see you as well. Have a great day.
All right. You too. Bye now.